What's up, guys? So yesterday was a great day. We got a lot of stuff done on the Jeep. I wasn't planning on it, but we got the rear axle mounted into the Jeep. It's all welded up. It's pretty much done as far as the welding goes. There's still like some things I have to button up on. And I also got the rear fender trimmed and welded. Now I have to put in body filler and then put undercoating and get it all finished and then put the fenders back on. And then this side will be completely done. So I took a bunch of clips of everything that we did yesterday, just like short clips not really step by step, but just along the way to see exactly what we did. So I'll go ahead and play that montage, and then after the montage I'm going to have the axle pulled out, and I'm going to show you all exactly what we did, the brackets, how we welded them, where we welded them, and then what's left for this rear axle. And then also we'll talk about how I'm going to paint it and just all the good stuff, you know. So also huge shout out to Barnes 4-wheel drive. I got all of the axle stuff from them. They're an awesome company. I've partnered up with them, and they've been a great company to work with. They actually sent me, we kind of had to build a kit for this rear axle, and they were super helpful, got us everything I needed and got it in like a day or two. So if you have any kind of axle swap questions or needs, definitely go check them out. I'll put a link in the bio. But let's go ahead and play that montage. Alright guys, so here it is. So let's go over first what I did. So the first thing that you have to do is obviously take measurements on these axles. I would recommend measuring 2 to 3 times. I think we measured probably 4 times to actually set these perches right here on both sides. So what you do is we took the measurement, which was 46 inches from the outer to outer perch. These were the exact same width perches as the other one. But from outer to outer on the other perches, it was 46 inches. So what we did is we centered that 46 inches exact on this axle. And how we did that is we got a measurement from the inside of right here on this axle tube to the actual perch where we welded it. And I think it ended up being like 6 1/4. Obviously it's going to be a different measurement for every axle, but that's how we got it to be dead center. So we had the exact same measurement on both sides, so that way we know it's dead center. We set the pinion to 9.5. Yeah, it was 9.5. Everything I've researched, that seemed to be the best angle, and well, what we did is we measured it 4 or 5 times, tacked in the perches right here, put the axle underneath, and I set the pinion angle to 9.5, and then we made sure that was the right pinion angle. We kind of pinned it to the, you want to kind of point the yoke, well this doesn't have it, it's a yoke plate, but you point the yoke to the transfer case, and then you're going to want to kind of shoot it down just a hair. So everything I researched, 9.5 seemed to be a good number, so that's what we went with on this. And then we set the shock mounts. These are the Barnes 4-wheel drive shock mounts for axle swapping for XJs. So they're the exact same, well, same structure as the original OEM ones. So we took a measurement on those from where they were off the perch up here, up right there. And then we kind of measured off of that and got the exact measurement. And we set the same angle as the perch plate, so that way it was kind of centered and everything was level. So that's how we did that. That's essentially all that's going to be welded on the rear for the most part. And then we have the leaf pack plates, and then it came with the U-bolts to sandwich it down. It's not right now because I'm actually going to pull this back out to, I'm going to wire brush the whole thing and sand it and then repaint it completely. So so it looks nice and pretty. And then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna actually paint probably quite a bit of stuff under here. I'm gonna obviously take my bump stops off and I'll have to rebuild some at some point, but that's the majority of the welding stuff for the measurements, just getting the axle to bolt into the Cherokee. So next on my list is going to be brakes. So I don't know if you can see this, but you have your main brake line right here that comes into the stock. It's right there. That goes into the stock old axle. So I actually have a braided stainless steel cable with a T-block splitter on it, which is like the standard block fitting. And I think I'm gonna try to find some brake lines here actually, since here, let me just turn it around. So I think I'm actually going to go to the auto parts store, and hopefully I'm going to see if I can modify stock JK brake lines to fit into that fitting, so it'll be a little easier on hooking up the brake lines. I'll let you all know how that goes. It's going to be an experiment type thing. From what I've heard, I'm pretty sure that's what you can do to get that to work. So that's next on my list. And then also I'm getting a pinion yoke. I'm replacing the yoke with a U-bolt style yoke from Adam's drive shaft. I'm going to be getting that in, and then once I get that in, let me focus this, I can get the measurements for the drive shaft. If I can reuse my drive shaft temporarily, I'm going to, but I don't think that I'm going to be able to. So I'll probably have to get a measurement for them and get a drive shaft built, which would be good in the long run. I was planning on doing it anyway, so that would just save me some time. So that's the next things that I have to do. So pretty much just get the brake lines hooked up, get the drive shaft hooked up, and then the rear axle is done. I can get the wheels on, and then if you can see here, I am working on the body work. So I have some body filler in here. There it is, body filler in there. I'm working on, I have to fill in all of these cracks and crevices. What I'm gonna actually end up doing is, God, this is terrible focusing right now. So what I'm actually going to end up doing is I'm going to put in body filler, get it how I want it, as in like nice and smooth and everything on this fender. And then I'm actually going to get some aluminum sheet metal, and then I'm going to mold the metal and then rivet it in, and also put glue behind it, so it's like extremely watertight and durable as well, because these tires are going to tuck up into here, and I don't want, if you put body filler in here and it tucks and it'll crack it, and I don't want it to crack and start falling out, and then it'll start to weaken it, and then if water gets in there, then it's just a whole nother deal. So that's also on my list. For now, I'm probably just going to do body filler, get it set up, because I actually want to build new fender wells for the front as well, so I can get that nice and watertight. So that's on the list. But as far as the rear axle goes, that's how you're going to get it bolted in. So what you order from Barnes, you can obviously call them. They're extremely helpful. I called them and they got me everything that I needed. They knew exactly what I needed for the kit. I bought the perch plate for it, and then the U-bolts, and then the leaf pack plates, and the shock mount kit. That's all you need for the rear axle on these, if you're keeping leaf packs, which the reason I'm keeping leaf packs is because of the weight that I carry on this thing. I didn't want to go springs, because if I do that, or coil springs, you have to run a track bar, and then you're also limited on weight and stuff like that. So I didn't want to go that route, so I'm definitely keeping leaf packs. So, and then other than that, you're just hooking up brake lines and the drive shaft, and that's pretty much it for the rear axle. Now obviously, like on the front axle, let's go ahead and take a look. On the front axle, we've got like way more stuff going on under there, so that's going to be a whole nother series. I'm going to do the front axle hopefully in the next week or two. That's here. It's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped about it. But my wife made a good point. She's like, look, let's just focus on like one axle at a time. Let's get it in, get it installed. That way we can kind of move from the back towards the front, and then everything in the back is done. We don't have to go back to it. And I was like, you know what, that's a good point, so let's do that. So that's kind of what I ended up doing. So I'm gonna get everything buttoned up on the rear of the bumper. I actually sold to my brother. He's picking that up supposedly this weekend. He's already paid for it. So I've got a new bumper coming I'll make a video about that when it comes. It'll be a nice surprise. It's a pretty simple bumper. I'm not doing a tire carrier, so I wanted something nice and clean and slim, so it, you know, kind of goes with the rest of the cleanliness of the build. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for the rear axle. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for next week. Every weekend I'm dropping videos. Hopefully next weekend will be the front axle. And just like that, this episode is over. Thank you all. Peace.